Perez. Wilton makes a run ahead of it. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello, and welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland Live, APW podcast. I'm your host, John. I haven't hosted for a long time, so please bear with me. And it's just me and the man behind all the buttons. Give him some love, everyone who's in the chat, because he's not had a good week. Hello, Danny. I'd ask how you are, but I already know.
You do know, because you made the awful mistake of going, "How are you?" And the polite thing is, "Go, yeah, I'm good." I didn't go, "Yeah, I'm good." I went through all my medical illnesses and how fucked off I am and cold, and I've had enough. And basically, I'm ready for the scrapyard.
I mean, we could ship you out to Spain, maybe. You know, go out there. It's lovely. It's nice.
I want to go to Colombia.
Oh, that's warm all the time.
It's Antigua there.
Yeah.
But a load of honkies went there years ago, and they mated with all the locals, and now everyone there looks like they're English, but they all speak Spanish. And you think, fucking, how are you not from Norwich, love? Like that. You go, oh, hello, cheeky. And they got a lovely tan, and everything's cheap, and I could get myself a couple of concubines and honkybines and porcupines.
Wow.
I think one of those things wasn't a real thing.
Well, I don't know. Honkybine is probably a thing somewhere. Maybe we should. There we go, chat. We should start a GoFundMe for Danny so he can go to Antigua. I don't know how we'd work our podcasts out around that, but I'm sure we'd manage it.
We get actually, because one of our podcasts, the El Neni Wonderland. So I've bit the side of my tongue like 5 days ago. So I'm dribbling like Harry Kane. That's why I have to keep going like that. Fucking awful. YouTube for the first time, and we've been doing this for nearly 10 years. For the first time in nearly a decade, YouTube's gone, oh, we're going to recommend this video. So normally that YouTube video would have got, that podcast, same as this, would have got 1,000 views. So far it's at 5,500 views. And it was nearly a month ago, and every day it's getting 300 or 400 more views. So that video, we made nearly 20 quid on. I say the podcast has made nearly 20 quid on.
And I don't see a penny of that money. I do this for free. It's disgusting.
I know, it's an absolute outrage. Well, after the 200, we need about 250 a year to pay for it all. Anything that's left over after that, I'm going down Iceland. I'm buying some bone burgers made out of 92% bone, and we're having a ABW barbecue. Yeah, so it's and the other thing that loads of people gave it a thumbs up, and loads of people commented. Like, I've been trying to get all of ABW to comment on all of our videos. Have you done it, John?
I haven't, no. I got distracted. I saw
the boobs.
I mean, it's boob related. They were attached to a lady. Yeah. She was basically she was a rock nerd's like wet dream. This is completely not football. Can you tell we don't want to talk about the North London derby? Yeah, she was a geek stream. She had a Rolling Stones bag, and she was listening to Iron Maiden and reading a Spider-Man comic. It was like perfect.
A Rolling Stones bag?
Yeah.
One of my
she had a bag
songs.
with Rolling Stones on. But yeah, there you go.
One of my favourite songs is by the Rolling Stones, Paint It Black.
It's a very good song.
Stunning song from the TV series about Vietnam. What was it called?
Oh, God, that was
used
really
to be on ITV.
Yeah, my dad used to let me stay up late to watch that.
Oh, I used to love that. And then they all died.
Show. Yeah. Anyway, we've gone completely off topic. Right, we are going to talk about football and Arsenal now. Do we need to talk about the last game? Do we have to mention it? Well, I mean, we won, obviously, so that was good, but
Chelsea have beaten Leeds 1-0, so our run for third is taking a bit of a knee to the testicles there. But Nice are beating Saint Etienne 4-2, so Chris is no doubt happy. God, not
Tour of Duty, thank you.
That's the badger.
There we go, Tour of Duty.
That is the exact. I love that program. That's why I like Paint It Black. In fact, that was probably in the mid-80s. Up until the early noughties, I honestly thought I saw a rector and I want it painted red. I thought, why are you painting it like a rector? So I thought it's some kind of religious figure. like a Pope. I see a Pope and I want him painted red. And only when I saw the instructions, the words, so it's I saw a red door, a black.
No, red. Yeah, I have a red door and I want it painted black. Yeah. There we go.
So I thought, why are you painting a rector black? Poor bloke. He's only just speaking to God. He's got his dog collar on.
He might have been an Al Jolson impersonator.
Could be. You never know.
Yeah, they're going to have to be some really old people in chat to get that joke. I mean, we won our last game, and it's all everything's gone right. Like we had that horrible run of 3 games, and then we turn it around against Chelsea and Man United. We had some not the most perfect wins, but we go into tomorrow night. We're 4 points above that lot. If we win tomorrow, that's it. Champions League is done. 5th place is already guaranteed. Man United can't finish any higher than 6th, which is hilarious. And the way they're going at the moment, they might drop even lower. And even if, I'm not going to say the word, but even if we didn't get the result that everyone wants tomorrow, we can still get 4th. Look, I've been Arteta back in all season, and even when it was really, really bad last year as well. Did you think, Danny, after those 3 games that we lost, that we would be in this position now?
I was thinking of going back. We did a predictions before the season started, and I think I predicted 4th. If we'd have done that, I'm going to go back and have a look. I think I said top 6, probably 4th, because it's going to be Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and then us. I said because we've got everything, because everyone's working on. Aubameyang's going to get 30 goals this season.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I reckon if we'd have done it,
I forgot he was in the team this year.
But I think if I'd have done that after, I don't know why I've opened that one. That's the wrong one to open. Didn't we lose 3? We lost 3. Then we smashed West Brom we stat padded West Brom, and then we lost to Man City. So after 4 games, it wasn't. It's after 3 games. The first one, Brentford.
First 3 games we lost, didn't we? Brentford, Chelsea, City.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, there you go. So I knew there was 3 out of 4. And so we'd let in 9 goals in 3 games, bottom of the league. Spurs famously were top of the league, that league table that those Spurs fans love to keep flashing and going, oh, look at this, cut and paste. And it's them top, us bottom. At that point, I would not have been predicting 4th place. No. I would have predicted bottom half. I was maybe 13th, 14th. But yeah, so I'm going to go back and have a look at that. And now that I know how to edit podcasts out of video with using Windows Movie Maker, I might go and do a little snippet of what everybody's final predictions were. Because we actually did 2 podcasts, John. I think you were on one of them. We did 4 on one and 3 on another.
Yeah, we got as many people on as we could, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think, I'm trying to remember, I'm pretty sure I said top 6. And I think I said, I hope it's 4th, but realistically, I think the best we'll do is 5th. I'm sure it's something like that. But I didn't have us down for top 4 this season. I just thought it was too much. And that was before we lost those opening 3 games as well. But yeah, we've like Arteta, the coaching staff, the players they've obviously had downs this season and some disappointing results, but they've turned it around and they've put themselves in a position where it's up to us if we want 4th. If we go out and perform, and if we win tomorrow, it's all done. And like you were saying earlier, about Chelsea are one up against Leeds at the moment. There's still a chance even that we can catch Chelsea. I'm sure most people are probably feeling like they want to throw up now when they're just worrying about tomorrow. I want to get that out of the way. Not thinking about the Chelsea thing. But it's just an incredible turnaround, and credit to, like I said, all the manager and the coaches and all the players, and big credit to the players that have come in when we've needed them.
What do you put it down to, though?
I think the thing is, if you look back across the whole season, when everyone was available and we had our best team out and everyone was performing, I don't even know if Aubameyang would get in it because he was off for the time he was here, really, this season. Lacazette was actually playing quite well, but not scoring. But he was doing a lot of stuff and he was getting shots off and stuff. And that team looked like it could really mix it with pretty much everyone bar City and Liverpool, to be fair. I think our dips have been down to inexperience, certain key players missing, sometimes a little bit of naivety on the pitch, which again probably comes from the age thing. Some of it's been Arteta, like he's made the wrong decisions. I'm sure he knows that, but you're going to get that with a guy who's like fresh in the job. I know he's been here, is it 2.5 years now? But it still is his first job at a massive club. So I think it's normal. I think even if we had the most experienced manager like a Klopp or Pep or something, I don't doubt that we'd maybe be a bit higher up. And maybe we would already have fourth. I'm not saying that Arteta's that level, but there's no doubt you would still get some weird results where we would, like the Palace game or like even the last game we played where we were like 2-0 up comfortable against Leeds and then concede a goal and everyone's like, oh, fucking hell, and your arsehole's going 5p, 50p like for 20 minutes. You're still going to get that just because of the age profile of the team. But I think the turnaround has been in part to we tried when Partey was out of the side. They tried to do the thing where, okay, we're not going to change our system. We're just going to put someone else in for Partey, and that wasn't working. Then obviously lost Tierney. We'd already lost Tomiyasu, so the defence was a mess. So you had to shore that up. And when he went back to the double pivot, I know Xhaka still gets up the pitch, but when he brought El Neni back in, it just secured and solidified everything. And it's not all just about El Neni. I do think the way the team's playing has changed slightly from when we had Partey in the team, and we don't have that one sort of singular point in midfield where you can just wriggle out of anything and release the ball. Everyone's sort of changed their positions and the runs they make a little bit. But that has been huge. And it's incredible the way that El Neni's come in, basically not played for us this season, and Eddie and Nketiah as well, and really taking their chance, both of them, and just said, no, I'm going to stake a place in the team. And, because of that, there's obviously the contract was already on the table for Eddie. Maybe he's going to get an improved offer. We don't know. There's talk El Neni's getting a new deal as well. Going to be offered a new deal, which I don't really have a problem with. And because of the way we've played, Arteta has got himself a new contract as well. I don't doubt he probably would have got one anyway, regardless. But what do you make of that? The whole Arteta and the new contracts and everything.
I'm glad about the contract. It's because I've been saying all season that although I thought I'd like to have him sacked, there's no point because we'd have to go through the new manager. Don't want these players. Get new players in. That would take another 18 months. So he shifted almost everybody out. There's a few to come back from on loan that he doesn't want, that wants to get rid of. But he's got the core of a decent squad in. And I expect him to go out and do a decent summer, him and Edu, like they did last summer. And then someone had a stat the other day, or a fact. They said, after the first 3 losses of the season, Arsenal have won 21 of the next 32 games. And I thought, that sounds a bit much. I did look in the league. The most is Man City with 27 wins, Liverpool 26, us 21, and then Chelsea and Spurs are on 19. I think, bloody hell. And we've got one of the best defences in the league. We've only conceded 31 goals. Conceded 42 goals. I was looking at the wrong one. And so that's, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th best defence in the league because there's 3 of us on 42. And the whole thing is just it's coming together at the right time. We've seen in so many previous seasons, we've had dodgy starts or rough patches. I mean, Wenger was famous for it in the 98 season. And I think in the 02 season, maybe that one as well, we were so far behind at different points in the season. And then we go on a magnificent run towards the end of the season. And then we ended up winning the league in those cases, or in this case, getting 4th, maybe pushing for 3rd. Come on, Leeds. And it's all got to come down to the players believing in the manager, which is something easy. The players that have left, the Bundesliga bastards, they didn't believe in the manager. They went out of their way to try and make sure that they were to get him out of the club, which is when you get to a situation like that, it's either going to be the manager or the players. And we saw with Emery, it was the manager that went. Yeah. And I think maybe the people at the top of the club, we complain they don't know anything about football, but they obviously saw the same situation happening here and went, we can't have the same thing. We can't get rid of another manager. Possibly, this is what they were thinking. And they go, no, what we're going to do, we'll get rid of the players. And it has cost them. I mean, how many times in your time as an Arsenal fan have you remembered one of our top players having their contracts cancelled and said, "There you go, off you go, bye-bye."
I mean, I don't remember it happening in football in general, let alone at Arsenal. It's very rare for that sort of thing to happen. I'm not showing off my guns, Phil Macker. Sorry for anyone who's just listening. Apparently, I'm showing my guns off. It's just a t-shirt. I can't. It's quite warm in Essex now. All of a sudden, it's very strange. It's a very weird situation, and I think you're right. Like the Emery thing was a case of he walked into a team that needed fixing, got bought on players, and it didn't work out. And it's quite clear he's not a bad manager from his record. It was just maybe he was the right manager at the wrong time, or whatever the saying is. And Arteta's come in, and I think he's changed culture, the atmosphere around the club. Like you said, he's got rid of a lot of those sort of players who were causing issues. Some people like it, some people don't. But I think he's fixed a lot of things, and he's made a real connection. Like, I care about this squad now. Like that, the whole team. Like, I can't remember the last time I actually cared about an Arsenal team was probably like genuinely liked everyone was like 2008, maybe that side. Although there's one, that's the thing is there's one anomaly in both the current side and the 2008 side. 2008 side was William Gallas, and in this side it's Pepe. And there's the two. But even Pepe, like, I think since Hours left and Guendouzi and those sort of guys, like, he still frustrates the hell out of me. But you can see all the talent and everything there. But I care about, like, all the players. Like, Elneny is not a world beater. Neither's Cedric. Xhaka's got his faults. Rob Holding isn't the greatest centre-back in the world. You know, he's limited in a lot of ways. Eddie Nketiah is a, maybe squad player striker for a Premier League club. But they all go out on the pitch and they try and do what the manager asks them to do. Sometimes successfully, sometimes not. But I still want to cheer them on. Whereas, like, previous Arsenal sides, I'd be like, oh, I like watching Alexis. He's fun. Or Ozil when he first came, or something like that. Then there'd be other players I'd just feel like, oh, you absolute wanker. Why have you got an Arsenal shirt on? I just stopped caring. I think the fact you've got the HLM boys in there's a lot of young players, Ødegaard, Martinelli, Tierney, just like likable characters. And they seem to stick up for each other more. The fans have all got on side. I do think in a weird way the pandemic helped. Like, I think from what I hear from other people who go to the stadium a lot more regularly than I do, there's a lot of a younger crowd there who are perhaps a bit more vocal or less, less fed up with Arsenal. Because if you've been watching Arsenal for a long time, it's very easy to get fed up with us, watching us and the way things have been going the last 10 years or so. The buzz seems to be there. Like, do you remember the last time, like, the whole stadium was singing the manager's name?
Yeah, probably after when Pepe retired.
Yeah, I mean, realistically. And then before that, it was probably
many years.
Late 2000s, late 2000s. Maybe Wenger was still popular enough then. But
we had that decade of shit, didn't we?
Yeah, So...
But then I remember thinking years ago when we had, at the moment, like that point you made was good, where Elneny and Eddie and Big Bob, they're not necessarily the best players at the club, but the other players bring them up another level. But for so many years at Arsenal, I used to say when we signed a new player, when we got Alexis or Ozil or any of that lot, how long would it be before he drags the rest of the team up to his level, or they drag him down to their level? And that's what ended up happening. So often we had decent players, and then the rest of the team would end up dragging them down. And then some of the magic, Alexis was probably, I'm thinking, how far back do you want to go? Probably since the Invincibles, our best player, our most gifted player, the player that could just grab anything by the game for me. And I loved him. He's so good. I took out Ljungberg and put Sanchez in my best Arsenal 11, moved Perez to the right and put Sanchez on the left. That's how good he was. But then that all ended in tears. Even when he was the half season he had with us at the end, I think he got 8 goals in 17 games. Yeah. He must have been looking around at the players around him and gone, none of you, much like trying to do this podcast tonight, John, no one gives a fuck. There's 12 people in that group. The only person who was available was John. The rest of them, you're all fired. That's why you're my favourite, John. I don't say that often.
I've never heard you say that, Danny. I've never heard you say that once, or read it in a message in a WhatsApp group.
How dare you? Who are you implying?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so it's just so now everybody is fighting for each other, and you see that El Neni has come in and done it. Xhaka has sorted his life out. We never thought. I mean, the fans actually like Xhaka. Me and you, we're the original founder members of the Xhaka fan club because we've always seen what he could give. We saw him playing in the Bundesliga, and we know that if you don't put a boat with holes in it in the ocean because it's going to sink. You don't give Xhaka a job to do that he can't do because he'll sink. Yeah. That's what you need to do with Xhaka. You need to stop doing that. And that's as soon as you move Partey and let Partey play a bit deeper and be the quarterback, and then you let Xhaka go forward a little bit and say, Xhaka, don't have to worry about it. You know you can't tackle really well. You tend to get mistimed and get carried away with it like it's a Sunday morning five-a-side and you're all pissed. You don't have to do that anymore. You just concentrate on getting the ball. And now look at his percentages for everything that he does. Yeah. We were right, John. We were right.
I mean, I'm famously, I don't like to say I'm right ever about anything.
But you can say it because there's no one here.
I'm right, and I love Xhaka. And to be fair, yeah, there is no one here. So, fuck you, Chris. But no, it is the thing about players coming up to someone, the best players. Level in a team or the best players being dragged down a level, it can go either way. And I think, like you said, whilst those players who have come in are limited in one way or another, whether it's technical ability or playing out from the back if it's Rob Holding, a defence splitting pass from El Neni, anything like that, they all seem to have upped their game. And I think that comes from belief in the manager, the system, the style of play, belief in your teammates saying, oh, you know what? Yeah, I feel comfortable. I'll give you the ball here. I'm not going to go, oh, I'm not passing to him. He's a bit dodgy on the ball. And we've seen that for quite a few years down at Arsenal. And you see it at other clubs as well, where someone's like in midfield, they've got the ball and then they look and there's the slightly dodgy fullback they can pass to. And they're like, no, I'm going to go back to the keeper. This is not a safe ball. But everyone feels comfortable and confident and says, yes, I want the ball. I want to receive it. We're going to try and impose ourselves on a way of play. And big up Arteta for doing that. I know there's still people who aren't going to believe him, but I think he was well deserved of that contract. I do think he would have got it anyway if we had missed out on Europe.
Yeah, there was rumours that when he went to America in January, that's what he was there for. Yeah, apparently, we know.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he went to try and convince Stan to give him some more money in January to see if he could get a player, but who knows? I don't think he'd need to go and see him about a contract. That's the sort of thing that you can do over a phone, surely. I don't know.
Maybe wanted to go somewhere warm.
That is also quite possible. Get his hair just slightly adjusted.
Daniel James has been sent off for Leeds.
Oh, fucking hell. Can you stop getting cards, Leeds? Seriously.
He looked like he could have got sent off against us at the weekend. He's not happy there. He's gone from Man United to Leeds to possible relegation. Oh,
that's pretty bad. Yeah. And what 2 clubs to go between as well? Man United and Leeds. Jesus Christ. Bet some people really fucking hate him now. Yeah, I think he probably would have got it anyway if he hadn't have secured Europe. But, he would have had to have had a really bad season to not get a new offer. But I think the timing of the contract and the announcement was done. It was like, right, that was without saying it. And the club has been doing a lot of things without saying them, like making it quite clear, like the direction of the team and the age profile and everything. I think that was a clear statement of our aim for this season was to get back in the Europa League. Obviously, we're in a position where we can get Champions League, and it's probably a year ahead of schedule. To be, if the club and Arteta were probably being realistic, I don't think they would try for it, and they clearly are trying for it, and hopefully we do it. But I don't think it was like the realistic aim for this season. I think top 6 was probably the realistic aim, and then build from there. Should we? Oh, I'm getting nervous just thinking about it. Do we have to talk about tomorrow?
Oh, I did a 3/4 of an hour show with a friend of mine, Alex, who's a Twitch person, and he's a Spurs fan, although he's born and bred in Nottingham area. And he's as nervous as we are. And I was saying if you've listened to the podcast, you'll have heard this, but I said the gist of it was the only thing you've got above us is 2 players that can score goals. But if we've got a back 4 of Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Holding, and Ben White, good luck getting past them 4 with your tricky wingers. You're just going to get an elbow in the face and say none shall pass.
Yeah, I do wonder what the lineup will be tomorrow. Maybe we'll come to that in a bit. There's a new place I work now. There's a couple of Spurs fans there, and I was chatting to one today, and I was like, nervous about tomorrow, and he was like, "Yep, want to throw up." He's not even coming in the office this week. He's like, "I'm working from home. I can't do it." And I think Arsenal were talking about it this week. We forget they're probably even more nervous because if they lose tomorrow, that's it. Their season's done. They've got nothing left to play for.
Yeah.
That's it. It's all over for them. And it puts them in a weird position because I think Spurs at their best is when they soak up pressure and then break on people quick with players like Son. Who's the other guy they got? Bergwijn, whatever his name is.
Oh, the Dutch one who comes on and scores goals.
Kulusevski as well that they got from Juve. Another good player. But yeah, that's their strength is breaking on teams. So, but it's a game they need to win. They need to go out to win it. So I really don't know what their approach is going to be because knowing Antonio Conte or at least having watched a lot of Conte teams, it's a lot of hard work for like 90 minutes straight. And then at some point, your winger or your fullback gets down the line, puts in a good cross and someone scores a goal is generally how it goes. I'll be interested to see because there was Mr. Collins was at the press conference today. He got
we saw him.
Yeah, he got a congratulations. Did you know from
he?
Mr. Arteta? Yeah. Yes.
For what?
Oh, haircut? No, it wasn't for the haircut. Although he did have one. Charles Watts tweeted a picture of it. Or at least took a picture and Simon was in it.
I was watching the Charles Watt video. I think most of you probably go and watch Charles Watts on YouTube. He's brilliant. And when he sits down at the press conference, he pans left. There's a gentleman there with a very nice haircut. It's our very own Simon Collins. We created a monster there. He's taking over the world of football. So we created. He was going there anyway.
Actually, I'm not sure if the congratulations was from the press. It might have been from the press officer. I'm not sure if it was from Arteta. But someone at Arsenal gave him a congratulations for him and his lady friend because they're tying the knot, aren't they? So, yeah. Yes. So, I don't know who let you know.
Talking of congratulations, look at this tackle from a Leeds player on a Chelsea player.
Oh, things you love to see.
Emile.
Jesus Christ.
Who's that? Oh, that's maybe that's Daniel James. I'd say by the fact that someone got sent off.
I don't know if that is Daniel James. He looks a bit large for that, but that's Anders Christensen, I think, for Chelsea.
Yeah, good luck, Barcelona. He nearly broke your player.
Fucking hell. That's horrendous.
That is, I mean, if everything looks worse when you do it frame by frame.
Yeah.
I mean, his foot could go behind his leg or in front of his leg, but
that's still so bad.
That is more will come. I think so. That game's obviously hotting up. I mean, doing us a favour. You can go in there and smash Chelsea up and damage all their players. Help us get third.
Yeah, a few injuries wouldn't go amiss. So, what was I saying? Oh yes, press conference. So anyway, Simon was at the press conference. And he was telling us, or lots of journalists have been telling us, that there's still a doubt on Ben White. We're not sure yet. They did say that maybe Saka was a doubt, but I think that's mind game bullshit. I think he'll be fine. So if Ben White isn't available, Danny, what team would you put out? Well, what back four would you put out? Would you just chuck Cedric in at right back?
So the thing I like about having Ben White at right back is the fact that you're not going to catch him down in their penalty area with the ball trying to do magic. You don't want that. I think Cedric is grown up enough for Arteta to say to him, "Oi, it's not going to be like trying to tell Alex Song, defensive midfielder, don't go beyond the halfway line, who thought he was Pele the whole time. No matter how much you told him, he was never going to listen." But I think if you say to Cedric, don't go roaming too far down that wing, because then that leaves us vulnerable, because then we have to back up into a back three, and then that leaves us vulnerable down both flanks with their players, because you're not catching any. So if he's our right back on their left, it's going to probably be Sessegnon.
No, and that bloke is it'd be Son as well, wouldn't it? He's been playing, been playing from the left as well. So yeah,
I didn't know. I wasn't sure where he played from, but those two. If you had a motorbike, Cedric, you're not catching either of those two. So don't go putting yourself in a position where you can't get back and cover. Halfway line at the very most, then pass it sideways. We don't need to be doing any of that lot. Saka can come down and get the ball off you. He'll zigzag. He'll go full Henry, take it around every single Spurs player, put it in and cross it and stuff like that. But it will be Cedric at right back if Ben White isn't fit.
Yeah, so I don't think you don't need to move Tomiyasu, because I mean, the guy apparently can play any position you want. It wouldn't surprise me if he's a pretty good goalkeeper as well.
Yeah.
But I do think that what that does is changes where we had the team before, when everyone's fit and Tierney was the fullback that went forward and Tomiyasu would tuck in. I think you just switch it to the other way around, and Tomiyasu will tuck in from the left, and that would go to a back three when we've got the ball. And Cedric will be allowed, some space to go forwards and get on the pitch. Because I think it's good having that overlap, because it lets Saka come inside. But yeah, we'll see. I hope Ben White's fit, because I do think that back four would be pretty interesting. Although Ben White does like to give away free kicks when he's playing at fullback. I've noticed that.
Yeah, they're still settling in. But out of that Spurs, if you had to make a best 11 of both sides, this is something else I was talking to Alex about. He said he would only take, I think, Martinelli. No, he said he'd take Tierney and Saka, and that was it. So how many of the Spurs players would you take?
I mean, do you want my honest opinion? Or my Arsenal fan? Well, I mean, my Arsenal fan opinion is fucking none of them. But
none of the fuckers.
No. My completely, if I'm being totally neutral, honest opinion, I sadly would have to say, I would have Harry Kane, because he's fucking annoying and does score goals. I don't think I'd take any of their midfielders though over ours at the minute.
No.
And I don't think I'd take their defence either. Their fullbacks are good going forwards, but their fullbacks are both a bit Tavares. They can't defend. The only other one, probably like Phil Macker said, Son is. I think Son is their best player, to be honest. I think he's better than Kane. And I think he makes Kane's job a lot easier. He's the incredible footballer. He's fucking annoying and I hate him. He's a dirty, cheating cunt and all. But yeah, he's very good at football. So yeah, they're definitely in for a shout. But no, I think our defence is better. Goalkeeper is. I think Tomiyasu is incredible. I think Xhaka and Elneny are playing really, really well at the moment. And particularly the pair of them together, they've got a really good understanding. Ødegaard is just absolute magic to watch right now. It's watching him at the moment is like. And before anyone gets upset, I'm not saying he's as good as Bergkamp. I'm not saying that. All right.
Well, happy birthday yesterday to Bergkamp and
our Lord and
Wiltord.
Yeah.
And Wiltord, and today's Diaby.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not saying he's as good as Bergkamp, but watching him at the moment, it's like watching as if someone took DNA from Dennis and then DNA from Santi Cazorla and then mixed them together and made Ødegaard, because his vision and his passing on the ball is like watching Dennis, but his feet and how quick he is with his feet and beating people and little spins and nutmegs and stuff. It's like, that really reminds me of Santi.
He's a prime example of when you go to football, when you just watch one player.
Mm. Oh, yeah. It just really, really incredible to watch. Everyone knows how good Saka is. The kid's unbelievable, especially for his age. And Martinelli as well. In that Leeds game, he was just terrifying that defence. And don't get me wrong, I know their defence isn't been great this season, but when he turns it on, that kid's incredible. I tell you what, someone needs to do to Martinelli is just say to him, say, we're playing Liverpool today. They're just playing in a different colour kit, because whenever he plays Liverpool, he's almost the best player on the pitch until like Salah comes on or something. It's just, yeah, he's absurd. And fair play to Eddie at the moment. Like he's getting his goals, whether they're nicking it off the goalkeeper or like that. This second goal was a really, really nice finish in the Leeds game. Like really good finish. That was great movement and build up, and took the finish really well, like falling over as he's taking it. And his work rate's fantastic. So I can't fault any of them. I've got no idea how to call tomorrow. I don't think you ever can call a derby, to be honest. But if we can win tomorrow at Spurs, at that fucking awful stadium, you just imagine the misery. Oh my God. I mean, I would not want to be in the away end. I don't think I'll be able to handle it. Like they're fucking vile, those fans, honestly. If you've never been to a Spurs away game, I don't recommend it.
Twice.
It's not pleasant. Yeah. I don't know what it's like. I haven't been to their new stadium, and I don't particularly plan on ever going. But
no.
Or to be in the away end if you win though. Whew, I mean, it would be amazing in the stadium, but once you get outside, it won't be great.
It is going to be quite good. Did you know I spoke Swedish? You've got Michael in Sweden here says, "Oh, I remember that day. I remember it, which is going on. I have fallen in love in Gnanget. A love that lives." That's my Swedish translation because I speak Swedish.
You didn't Google that then, Danny?
No, I do know what Gnanget means.
Okay.
It means mushroom.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
I'll only fill us out with something in English. Hello. So, people in the chat, are you confident about the game tomorrow? Not. I know we have our head and then we have our heart thoughts. And I honestly think we can beat them either way. My heart says we can beat them. My head says we can beat them. I think it can be done because give a perfect example of them. They beat Man City 3-2. Next game, they lose 1-0 to Burnley. Well, they had a great game against Liverpool 1-1. And now tomorrow they're going to go and get smashed, hopefully.
Yeah.
But it's just that they got that bloke in midfield. I was looking up his name. Hoiberg. Absolute toilet.
Yeah.
He is their Xhaka. Wind him up.
Yeah.
And then he'll snap. And then he'll get sent off. But the Leeds game was ruined by their player getting sent off. If he wouldn't have got sent off, we could have got 4 or 5 in that game. Because as soon as he got sent off,
I think the moment, we just went, it's 2-0. They're down to 10. We can just turn off now, and which I get. And again, that's an experience thing. I think that's where you need Xhaka and who else is old in that team that played? Xhaka and El Neni. That's it. Everyone else was a teenager basically. You need those two really to be like, no, come on lads, you got to keep going. I don't know how to call tomorrow. I don't want to jinx it by saying I'm confident or I'm not.
No such thing as jinxing. There's no such thing as luck and there's no such thing as jinxing.
Okay, we're going to win 5-2 tomorrow again.
Because I remember that time years ago, we had an ABW, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and I started off with what's everyone's pre-match rituals. And they went through, and I do this, and I wear this, and I do that. I went, and how's that working out for you? Are we unbeaten for 5 years? Don't fucking bother with any of it then, because it doesn't fucking work.
It's true. It's very true.
The only way that could work is if they do more than we do. And then the cosmic count.
I'm not going to lie, Danny. Tomorrow, I'm going to wear my ABW T-shirt because, and this is really stupid, we had those 3 losses, and then we had what was the first game after the 3 losses? Was it Chelsea or Man United?
It's West Brom. Oh, what?
No, the 3 really shitty ones. And then we beat Chelsea and Man United, didn't we? Yeah, it was Chelsea. So I wore my ABW top for the Chelsea game. And I wore it at work, so I did some free advertising for it as well, walking around.
Did we get any views from that?
No, apparently lawyers are not interested in football at all.
Scam.
No, terrible people. But I also wore it for the Man United game. And we won. Every time I've worn it since that Chelsea game, we've won. So I feel like I have to wear it tomorrow now. And obviously, if we don't win, then I will burn it.
Well, hopefully I am going to get some more of the newer version made.
Yeah.
But then also we beat them this season. When we were shit, we beat them 3-1.
Yeah.
At our place. So there you go. That's yet another reason why we might do well against them tomorrow.
If it was a home game, I'd be like, yeah, we'll win. I think it's just because it's away, and they have been like towards the end of the season, they have been playing pretty well, and they really stifled Liverpool and probably could have got a win in that one. But yeah, Arteta's going to have a plan, and the players will follow it. And like Elneny said, you give me a plan, and I execute it to the letter, and he will go out and do it. Hopefully, he will execute Son and Kane on the pitch. And one at Fjordberg.
Because if Elneny has a game, we know what we see on the pitch. All we see is this.
Oh, yes.
100 Elnenys everywhere you look. It's a matrix. It's actually an official saying. It's a matrix of Elnenys.
Yeah. In the shape of a pyramid as well. I like that. The pyramid Pirlo himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolute. An absolute fact. Now that you've said that, Richard's actually in the chat. Hello, Richard. He was nearly going to do 3 shows in a row. I said, don't do that. No one's ever done 3 shows in a row.
Oh, no.
He said, okay, then.
Yeah, don't work at all. That's terrible for you. It's not good for your health.
Let's move away from that and a topic that I know we'll both like. Naz Osman says, I know you like science, Danny. Could you recommend some good sci-fi series?
Something to forget about the complete feeling of nausea. I do love Battlestar Galactica, the new and the old. I love both. I think they're great.
I've rewatched the new one probably 4 times, and I could turn it on again tomorrow.
Yeah, and the best thing about the new one is the sort of is it like 4 episodes as they're being chased away, and there's like the countdown before like the main series starts. I can't remember what it's called now. There's like a countdown clock.
Oh, they did a prequel, didn't they?
Yeah, like a prequel thing. That's really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah, because you see the planet blowing up.
Yeah.
And all the robots down on the planet.
The Expanse, Avon Ted. That is a great show. Absolutely love that.
I tried watching that. You and Jeff Canadian Jeff are always going on about that, aren't you?
Yeah.
I tried.
Took me a few episodes to get into it, but yeah, after about 3rd or 4th episode, then.
What's the gist of it?
Okay, see, look, this is what happens.
Space.
When you let Danny fucking talk or pick questions, nothing about Arsenal. It's set in the future, and people have left Earth and they're on Mars. There's people on Earth, there's people on Mars, and there's people in the belt, in the asteroid belt. They're called belters, but basically what they are is they're miners from Wales, essentially, but with South African accents. Yeah. So Mars and Earth are sort of in a Cold War, and the belters are just sort of left on their own. It's quite political between the 3 factions, but the belt is divided itself into like separate gangs and factions and stuff. So one belter might do something to attack Earth or Mars, but then the whole belt gets blamed for it, kind of thing. So they're like the lower classes. But yeah, it's very good. And basically a group of people from all different places end up on a ship together and essentially try and stop everyone from blowing each other up.
Phil says here, I got bored and confused with Expanse with 1 episode. So did I. I turned it off.
Yeah,
I didn't even finish 1 episode.
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a while to get going, but once you get into it, it's really, really good.
Fringe was very good until they decided at the end, "Oh, fuck it, do a half season, put an alien in this, it's done." And then they went time travel, fucked it all up, gone.
I'm trying to think of other ones.
Loki says the old V. I didn't like any of the Vs.
No, I wasn't a big fan of those.
But Star Trek, I watched the first episode of Star Trek Brand New Worlds or whatever it was called, and I found out why there were no pink men in Star Trek anymore, why it's all minorities and women. I mean, you look at Star Trek Discovery, all women, because they say in the New Outer Worlds, fuck, I'm going to say that differently every time, that there was World War III and 30% of the human population was wiped out. And they were all probably pink men like us. That's why there are none in future episodes of Star Trek.
That makes a lot of sense. And to be fair, there would probably be less... see, now we're getting on to philosophy. There would probably be less white people, or pink men, as Danny likes to call us, as time evolves, because we'll all mix together and
we'll all be coffee coloured in a couple of thousand years.
And I'd rather be coffee coloured, to be fair, because this skin in the sunlight is horrible.
Well, I'd rather be somewhere that makes me coffee coloured, because you're not going to get that in East Anglia.
Yeah.
But Star Trek, I liked Star Trek Discovery. The first series was brilliant with Jason. Hello to Jason Isaacs, with him in it. And then it went, let's just have a women run all of it. Now, my favourite characters on there was the gay couple. They were fantastic. I really liked Tilly, the ginger bird, and the alien bloke, the one who had legs like a giraffe. Can't remember what his name is.
Oh, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, the Kelpian, them. They were my favourite characters. But then I just got fed out of it, and it's just continuously, give up with it. So I didn't watch series 4 of that. Picard, I quite liked Picard, apart from the fact that Picard now looks about 110. Don't watch Picard at the same time as you're watching Next Generation, because you will think there's one episode of the Next Generation where he goes, a satellite beam takes him into the satellite, knocks him out. No, sends a beam from the satellite, knocks him out, and then he lives an entire life on that planet as Picard, and then he ends up changing his name, and then they age him, and he looks quite close to how he did now. That was a fantastic episode. But I've just watched all of Star Trek Next Generation, every episode in about 4 months. And I'm looking at Deep Space Nine, and I'm thinking, oh, God.
That's a slog and a half.
Oh, first episode. That's the 4th time I've watched the first episode. And I'm watching 3 other episodes I'm in, and I just do not give a fuck about any of it.
Yeah. I'll give you one more, although it's completely not worth watching because I never finished it, and there was only ever one series. And I think it's from the 90s. It's called Dark Skies.
In the 1940s, wasn't it?
I think it was the 50s or 60s, and there's like I don't know if it's Howard Hughes or like a Howard Hughes types in it, and there's aliens, but they're like weird little bugs, and they get inside your brain and take you over, and there's a CIA division called Majestic 13, which might have been a real thing, and it's got like some stuff about MK Ultra and the stuff they did with acid on people and all that sort of stuff. It was a really good TV show, but it got canned after 1 season. It was really annoying. I enjoyed it, or at least I remember enjoying it. It might be awful if I watch it now. If you just want some cheesy, like channel sci-fi shows, Dark Matter and Killjoys are both pretty decent. Special effects aren't amazing, but they're like easy to watch. There you go.
I have watched so many because I have nothing else better to do with my time. In fact, last night I watched The Hitchhiker's Wife again. I'm just looking through I have a list of detectivists. Go and watch that, people. It's on BBC iPlayer. If that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, have you seen it?
I have not. No.
Oh my God!
I don't have a TV. I don't have a TV license anymore, so no, I don't even use iPlayer.
I've been here 29 years, and I've only had it once for about a month, and then fucked it off. But you ain't going to go far wrong with Battlestar Galactica. I watched Outer Range as well, the new series on Amazon.
That's supposed to be good.
Just have your finger on the skip button. There's a whole load of shit that does not need to be in that. That could be a brilliant 3-parter. But they've milked it for 7. Russian Doll just finished series 2 of that. Absolute dog shit. That turned to halfway through. Just the Star Treks, I think you should stick to. Or go and watch Vikings. That's not very sci-fi, but that is really good.
Oh, and another recommendation, whilst we're still not talking about football, would be, and it's not sci-fi, is The Sinner on Netflix with Bill Pullman. It's a detective TV show type thing. There's only 4 series, and each series is based around like one murder or one mystery. The only continuous character is the detective himself, but it's all in different places. But yeah, very, very good.
The new announcement for Doctor Who, that bloke, he's from Rwanda. He was in Sex Education.
He was really good in that, yeah.
He was the best character. I didn't even know he wasn't English. Yeah. The accent, hopefully he has that English accent in Doctor Who. He is fantastic. Yeah. So
I'm not a Doctor Who fan personally, but I like the actor. My mate's a big Doctor Who fan, so he's very excited about it.
He is. He was by far the best. And the young girl in there who's French, she plays an English woman, but she is born in France, grew up in France, but lived in England for ages, so she's got an English accent. But Richard wants to know Kenobi. I take it that's a Star Wars thing.
That is a yes, that is a Star Wars thing, Danny. I'm very, very excited for Kenobi. It's set after the original film. No, sorry, Danny, it's not set. It's set after the prequel films from the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's about Obi-Wan Kenobi before he becomes Alec Guinness in Tatooine and such. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. Hopefully they don't ruin it.
David knows that episode I was on about. It was called The Flute, which is why in later episodes you will see that it's one of his prized possessions, the flute, and that actually brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah,
it was amazing. Phil likes the Detectorists. Stan says original episodes of The Outer Limits on Daily Motion.
Oh.
The Outer Limits, I don't know about that. Better Call Saul, I watched it all the way from the beginning up until the end of the last series. I watched it over Christmas. And so I'm waiting for this series to finish, and then I shall watch the last one. But this is why I now hate Mexicans. I've only got one Mexican friend, which is Mike Hertz. And I broke the Arsenal luchador. I broke the news to the pair of them. I said I don't like Mexicans anymore because of what they've ruined that show. I hated them in Breaking Bad. The Mexicans ruined that, and now they've ruined this. Which is a bit of a shame because I think I'm quite a fan of the Mexican South American ladies. I think they're delightful.
Well, but you want to go to Antigua? I
certainly do. So Mexicans, I'm done with you. So I've broke them. It's a hard breakup with me and Mikey Hertz. He hasn't taken it well, but there again, he's an AC Milan, so fuck him. Stan says Lakers, a rise of the empire. John C. Riley, very good for two. And Young Rock. I'm watching Young Rock. I've just finished series 1 of that.
Is that actually about The Rock?
Yeah, there's 2 different versions of The Rock, and then himself is set in the future, and he's president, and he's been interviewed, and he just talks about his life. But then you have all the old Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Snuka and his dad and all them lot. And you have all those actors playing those, like Andre the Giant, and so people play those and look like Randy Savage. It's really good. It's clever how they've done it.
I shall have to check that out.
Yes.
You like that?
Stan says We Own the City. Never heard of that. Here we go. Steph's trying to get us back on track. Come on, you gunners. We are better than the scum. Ay caramba. And I've started watching The Simpsons and Family Guy regularly. I download it every time it's on now. Quite enjoy it. Family Guy is about 50 times better than The Simpsons. And I tried watching Rick and Morty again.
Simpsons since I can't remember what series it is, but that kind of went really downhill, and they tried to make it too much like Family Guy. With like cutaways and random gags. Yeah.
I watched Rick and Morty episode 1 again. Don't like it. Cannot get into it. That constant that
gets better as it goes on, and you kind of get used to those things. Archer is the best cartoon, like adult cartoon.
Well, being an adult, I don't watch cartoons apart from Family Guy, really. So
you should watch it. You should watch Archer because it's about a drunk spy who's a terrible spy, but somehow manages to complete all his tasks. And it's also what Arsblog's dog. That's why he's called Archer, and why his other dog is called Lana. 2 of the characters from the TV show Archer. It's very funny.
Loki says third rock from the sun. Very good. It was very good.
Oh, that was a good show. Yeah, that was a really good show. Yeah.
Michael agrees with you.
Yeah.
So just talk a bit about what we need in the summer, and are we confident whether we're going to get it or not? Who would you like? I think the one that we all mutually agreed on is Tammy Abraham.
I'd love Tammy Abraham. Mourinho did an interview the other day. And he said Tammy hasn't asked to leave or something along those lines. But if someone in England wanted him, I'm sure Tammy could click his fingers and make it happen. So read into that what you will. It's classic Mourinho. But if we could get anyone, and I know the club were very, very, very trying to get him in, and they couldn't get the deal done. I think Chelsea were being arseholes. That would be perfect for me because he's got pace. He can link up play. He can run in behind. He can hold the ball up. He's got height. Don't get me wrong. His finishing still does need some work, but I think he's an amazing footballer. And I think you put him with Martinelli and Saka, and then you've got Ødegaard behind, and you've got people like Smith Rowe to come on and stuff. It's just that's disgusting. That would terrify people. I'd be surprised if it happened. Although Serie A are still losing money, they're not getting as much as they were. So maybe it's a very slim chance. The Gabriel Jesus link is still there. Obviously, Haaland is now pretty much signed for City. I think they're just doing personal terms at the moment.
Oh, great.
Which I don't know, $1 million a week or whatever they're going to pay him. Ridiculous sum of
It's
money.
in Vinci blog. Paul.
Hello. But Jesus for me is a really sensible signing. He's still young. What is he? 25? He says.
Yeah, he is. I checked this the other day.
Ooh, look at me.
We don't know how old any of the Arsenal players are.
No, yeah. But yeah, Jesus is he's like, he can play forward. And I know lots of people have said, I've seen lots of people on Twitter saying, oh, his goals per game ratio isn't that good. But if you actually look at his goals per game ratio when he plays as a striker, it's very good. It's really, really good. As a winger, it's also very good. He gets assists. The fact that he can play wide either side and play through the middle, I think is a great asset. He knows the league really well. He's been here, 4 or 5 years now, I think, in the Premier League. He knows the Champions League, Brazilian as well. Helps Martinelli, who just got into the national team. Gabriel's there, Edu's there. I'm sure that's a factor. And he knows Arteta. So for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. And I know lots of people going, oh, we don't want City's rejects. Well, it's not that he's a reject. It's that Man City have got so much money and such wealth of talent in pretty much every area of the pitch. Someone has to be pushed out. And that's, if that happens to be him, and it's, 30 million, I think they're talking, something like that, 30 million for him.
Yeah.
For that level of player of ability at his age, you can get him for 30 million. And if in 3 years' time he wants to move, he's 28, so he's still got good years left in him, you're going to get more money. For me, it just makes perfect sense. You can offer him more money than City are paying him, because believe it or not, he's not actually on that much money at City. I think someone said if you gave him 150k a week, he'd be on almost double what he's on at Man City, which sounds ridiculous. Yeah, but I don't think he's on mega money because they got him so young and from Brazil. I'm sure it's something stupid like that. Again,
let's see what the internet says.
That's what is on Twitter. So whether that's true or not, I have got no idea. The only other player I see leaving City if Jesus doesn't go would be Sterling.
90 grand a week, apparently, according to
90. Well, there you go, 90 grand a week.
He's on less than Nathan Ake.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking
so
hell.
you could give him more money without breaking the bank and get him for a really good fee, and he'd still have sell-on value. So for me, that makes perfect sense. But if you sign Gabriel Jesus, then you have to sign another striker. Yeah. But the other player has to be an out-and-out striker. So I would say if somehow Tammy Abraham was available and we could do it and the price was right and whatever, then that would be perfect for me, because then you bring in two different profile strikers, but both are very, very mobile and both can press really well, which is very important to the team as well. And they also seem to have a really good attitude, which is a big thing for, what I think Arteta and Edu look for in players is the attitude and how it's going to affect the dressing room. It is going to be a big thing. Like, you could be the best player in the world, but I guarantee if Arteta thinks you're a knob, he's probably not going to sign you. Even if it would say, technically improve the team, I think if it disrupts the sort of harmony and the togetherness they've got in the dressing room, he's just not going to look at them. Which I think is the right attitude to have, because when you're building that young team, you want them to be together and really, really build with it.
How about the talks of, you just said his name, Raheem Sterling. There was a bloke, yesterday Tom had a really good bloke on. He was a Leicester fan. He was talking about Tielemans, and I think he may have said that the Spurs were after him as well. But it looks like if Sterling leaves Man City, he's going to go and play with Conte at Chelsea, at Spurs. But the main thing he said is that it looks like the Tielemans deal is almost done, because we wanted him when he left Anderlecht and went to Monaco for a year and a half.
Yeah.
But then he didn't want to come to us because he thought he wasn't ready. And then so he spent a year and a half there, half a year on loan at Leicester. And then Leicester signed him, and he's been there for 3 years. And they said the deal is almost as good as done. Are you happy with that?
I know some people don't like him, but I really like him. I think he's a good player. He's got he's not like a DM or anything like that, but I think he's got that engine. You can get him to go box to box, and he's more of a 8 than he is a 6. And again, Premier League experience. He's got some European experience, international. He's got some international teammates in the squad. It's a good. He's Belgian, isn't he, Tielemans?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good sort of old, not like really older, but slightly older mentor for Lokonga as well to build that. I think you could see a really nice midfield of Partey, Tielemans, and Ødegaard. I think would be really nice in some games. You could then swap that out and bring in Xhaka for others. And we do need another centre mid, and I think he fits the profile. He's got good passing. He can score goals. He can assist. If you really need him to play DM, he can, but it's not his best position. But yeah, I think for me, if you're keeping El Neni, if we're working on the premise that Xhaka and El Neni stay, you've already got Partey. You add Tielemans to that. You've got Ødegaard and Smith Rowe as the options ahead of them as a 10, if you like. And then whoever it is from the youngsters maybe coming through, I think that's a really good base to build off. And you've also got Lokonga in that mix as well. So you've got 5 centre mids there to cover 2 positions, which with Premier League and Europe and like other cup competitions, I think generally is enough. And then 1 or 2 youngsters maybe mixing in. And you've got other players, like Ben White can obviously play there. So I think that's all really good options for me. And again, it's a sensible signing. You're not going out, because I think realistically, the big money we spend will likely be on a forward, whoever that main striker is. If Jesus is one of the forwards we get, that's where the big chunk of our money is going to go.
Well, he's been saving up all of his pocket money, hasn't he, Arteta, to spend big this summer.
Yeah, I mean, Tielemans is not going to cost us a ton of money. Jesus isn't going to cost us a ton of money. It will be that main striker, whoever it is. So those 2 signings make sense to me. I don't know who the centre forward will be. And then you've got to look at a fullback.
Hickey from Bologna. Yes. Celtic went to Hearts for, I think, a year and a half, then went on to... Been 1.5 seasons now at Bologna. He plays left back, left wing back. He's been playing a lot of left midfield. He's played a few games of. You can tell I've been on Transfer Market looking at it.
He's played a few games as well.
He can play anywhere.
Yeah, he's very interchangeable at fullback. He can come onto his right foot. He's really, really good one-on-one defender. Really, really good one-on-one defender. He's still obviously got a lot of learning to do because he is only young. But like 1v1, you'll see if you go and watch some highlights of him, there'll probably be within the highlights where it looks like his man's beating him. I think they played Roma the other night. I can't remember if it was Pellegrini or someone that got past, looked like he got past him, and he made a really good recovery tackle and block. And he does that a lot. He's a really, really good 1v1. So that's just, for me, if that's the fullback we're going for, again, not going to cost you a lot of money. He's played in Scotland, he's played in Italy, so he's still very young. But
someone for Tierney to talk to that'll understand him.
Yeah, exactly that as well. So we'll have 2 blokes coming up with Tesco carrier bags and short sleeve shirts, no matter the weather, which will be wonderful. Again, these are all like sensible. You don't always have to get superstar names for certain positions. I really don't think you need that.
And we've shown in the past that he's really good at winkling out these players and then making them fit our system.
And the thing is, with a lot of these, I know Tavares is sort of the one that people have got question marks over, but because of his age, there might be a player there. And if there
He's
isn't,
barely out of nappies.
yeah, and if there isn't, a player there, then you go, all right, okay, we made a mistake with that one, but we didn't spend a fortune, and we'll probably at least get our money back.
Yeah,
or at worst with like a tiny loss, which over the period of time he's at the club for is not going to equate to that much, or maybe equates to nothing. So I think they're the sort of big areas, and then I would guess the goalkeeper will be one, because I assume Leno will probably leave in the summer, which I don't blame him. That's fair enough. I think he's been a good player. Yeah, he's been a good player for the club, and like this season, when that short period Ramsdale was injured, he came into the team and played really well. And you can see he obviously gets on with Ramsdale, the way they celebrate together when he got on the pitch and everything. So again, another guy who, not necessarily his fault. I think he's a decent goalkeeper. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. It's just he doesn't quite fit the system, and he's at an age where he needs to play first team football. So yeah, hopefully get I don't know, is he out of contract in the summer, or has he got a year left? Can't remember.
Now I have a thing here, brand, and I go to contracts. Boom, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
It's only taken me 9 years to do this. Where is he on here?
Oh no, he's 2023, so he's got a year left. Yeah,
it means we get money for him.
We get a little bit of money, but not a lot. Yeah.
Paul in the chat says the young man, the right back from Nottingham Forest, but
yes.
It was good, but he hasn't really done much since then, and not much that I've seen. Forest are on an amazing run. They've made it into the playoffs. They're looking good for a possible making it back into the Premier League for the first time in about best part of 20 years, I think it would be. Mm-hmm. He was on loan from Middlesbrough, which we've really got to deal with. We can maybe say we'll have him, and you can have Balogun for another season on loan because he needs another season.
I do really like that guy. I can't remember his name, but he's a very... I mean, when we played against him, he was their standout player for me. But I've watched him and Ross from the Hipsters pod, when that occasionally ever broadcasts, constantly talks about him. I do really like him. I do wonder if it's one of those ones where they might get him and then loan him out to someone, perhaps. Again, depends what happens. Cedric maybe goes in the summer. Should we talk about the players that are out of contract before?
We've got a couple coming in though in the summer. We've got Ashton Trusty from Colorado Rapids. I think that's another
that's the goalkeeper, isn't it?
No, that's a defender.
That's a defender.
And then we have got a goalkeeper as well coming from somewhere else, but it hasn't got it on here. We haven't signed him yet, but the deal is agreed. So I can't remember who he was, and I can't be able to go and find it. But
Matt Turner.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, Brady's Banana put it in the chat, and Paul Hepke, was asking the question. Yeah.
Yeah, so Matt Turner, apparently he's one of the best goalkeepers in MLS, and MLS do have a history of decent goalkeepers. Brad Guzan, Tim Howard, Casey.
Well, Americans are very good at holding balls, aren't they? They're not great at kicking them, but they're
yeah. So you're saying
just
players
insulting all our American audience.
Jed players Spence, are out alone.
That's the guy. Sorry, Jed Spence is the right back we were talking about. Yeah. I do like him. So what we'll do, we'll go through the players out on loan and the ones contracts ending, and then do some questions. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to read them out, or have you got a list?
Go on. You fire them out, mate.
Mavropanos at Stuttgart. They have a deal. If they avoid relegation, they buy him for I think €6 million, and they're already going to flog him for 20. But they drew 2-2 with Bayern Munich the other week. I think he scored an own goal. And so they've got one game to go, and if they win and Hertha Berlin lose, then they avoid relegation. But they can't be caught by Arminia Bielefeld below them because of the goal difference. There's a 7 swing. So it almost looks like they're definitely in the Bundesliga playoffs. Who have they got the last game of the season? Stuttgart have got FC Cologne, who are 7th, but they are at home. And then if they have a playoff, then Bundesliga 2 playoff team is going to be either Darmstadt or Hamburg.
Yeah.
So hopefully they don't get relegated, and then we get him back for nothing. Yeah. But is he good enough?
He's, by all accounts, he's had a good season, but I don't think he's going to be one they'll look at. I think if he did come back, I think they'd just sell him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Avon Ted said in the chat there, apparently we've got a 60% sell on with Mavropanos. It wouldn't surprise me if we did have that in the loan deal or contract or whatever. So or the obligation to buy if such and such clauses are met.
Daniel Ballard still too young. Matt Smith too young. Matteo Guendouzi deal done, isn't it? He's going back to Marseille.
He can go wherever the fuck he likes. He's a prick.
Decent season though. He's had 54 games, nothing but consistent. 5 goals, some assists, and he's brilliant. But yeah, that'll be one we'll look back and rue the missing of. Now here's the big one, Saliba.
I've got absolutely no idea what's going to happen with that.
Nor have I.
Fucking no clue. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying through their fucking teeth. I haven't got a clue. I genuinely don't know. Like, he's like nominated. I think he's in or nominated for the team of the year in France. And what does that mean? Sorry, Chris, that's going to want in. No, look, he's had a really good season. He's obviously a very good player. I don't know if he's going to come back or not. I've got no idea. I hope he does because he's a really, really good player. And I hope because that just improves our defence and it pushes White and Gabriel to play better. And if one of them gets forced out of position, then they get forced out of position. And that's what you need. You need competition. So
yeah. You do. I'd love to have him back. Chelsea are 2-0 up against Leeds. Yeah. And Man City are 3-1 up against Wolves. De Bruyne a hat-trick. And now he has got 14 goals in 28 Premier League games. His best run, but we don't care about them, so fuck him. Nicolas Moller, he went off to Victoria Cologne in the German 3rd division. They cancelled that, brought him back, and then sent him out to Den Bosch. He's only 19. 2 goals in 11 for Den Bosch. Too early to say about him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dejan Iliev, the Macedonian goalkeeper. I think we might have let him go since. I'm just working from July last season onwards. Therese John-Jules, another one. He's 21 years old. This season he's had 2 loans. One at Blackpool, none in 11. One at Sheffield Wednesday, 1 game, no goals. Even last season on loan at Doncaster, he only got 15 in 18. The bloke is gone full Jack Wilshere with the injuries. He has had no luck. I mean, to be 21 years old, on Wednesday 22, he's just gone 21 in February, and he's only played 41 games in his career.
Yeah.
And that's, I think he's done with, isn't he?
We'll just see what happens. The other big loan one, I think Balogun will go out on loan again.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, and the other one who I've got no idea what will happen with is Reece Nelson.
Yeah, he's doing. They love him in Feyenoord. He's doing wonders over there. He's I don't know what his record is. Where is it?
I suspect that they would let him go if the right offer came in, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I suppose if Pepe leaves, then maybe there's a spot for him in the team. But who knows? I know he didn't start very well there. But
he's a Halen boy. Yeah, he didn't. He was coming on as a sub, but now the game he scored the other week, he played in the semi-final of the Europa League or Conference League, whichever one it was. He's through to the final. He's becoming a really important part of their team. But I'd love Halen boy. I'd love to have him back. He's versatile, both wings. Yeah.
If he can come back and he can improve on his previous sort of performances for Arsenal, then great. Wouldn't have a problem with it. And I'd love to see it, but we'll see with that one. Again, it's a bit like the Saliba one. I don't really know I don't think anyone knows what the relationship is like between him and Arteta. So we should see.
Lucas Torreira, another one who had a magnificent start. France got him in 2018 for 26 million from Sampdoria.
No, Sampdoria, and he went to Fiorentina.
Yeah, he's on. They've agreed to sell him on the end of June this year. 13 million. What a waste.
Yeah. Good player again. Really good player, and it just had horrible circumstances. All happened at the wrong time. With his family and stuff, and the club did the right thing and let him go out and play and be close to his family. So don't have a problem with that. I hope he continues his successful career in Syria because I like watching him.
How about the longest serving Arsenal player, Hector?
Hector. Yeah, I forgot he's on loan, isn't he? I don't know. I really haven't thought about him since he's gone, to be honest.
He was never a problem.
No. I do wonder.
Cockney geezer.
Yeah, I do wonder if he'd come back. I'm leaning towards sell probably.
Yeah. Bit
but
easier over there.
I wouldn't be against it if he's had a really good year there. I don't know. Again, I think because of last summer, how well Arteta and Eddie did, whoever they get or whoever they let come back, I'd kind of trust them on it because their judgment seems to have been pretty good.
Avon Not Teddington says Feyenoord want to keep Reece but can't afford to buy him. The second part of his loan has been outstanding. He's in the starting lineup for the Europa Conference final.
Yeah.
Good. Hope he wins. They're playing Rangers. I hate Rangers, so there you go. Oh, just hope that Kate's husband isn't listening to this because he's a Rangers fan. Got a couple more of the main ones to go through. There is Maitland-Niles, Conservative.
Yeah, he'll go.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
He should try and wingle a move to Italy.
Yeah.
I'd love to live in it.
Good athlete, but technically I don't think he's gifted enough.
Pablo Mari?
Gone. He'll be gone.
Yeah, that's a shame. That was we can't afford to pay him because the stupid deal we got, where I think they get $1 million for every 10 games that he plays.
Yeah.
Which is why he signed for us on loan in January 2020. So he's been here at Arsenal 2.5 years, and in total he's managed 14 league games.
Yeah.
Because if he plays anymore, he's stuck on 19 games and 1 goal for Arsenal. One more, that's £1 million. So he's never going to play.
There's a reason he looks like a dodgy drug dealer, and his contract was slightly dodgy as well.
Oh, here we go. Here's Phil's usual one podcast mental question. Would you take Rambo on a free?
Oh.
Do we need a cleaner? Do we need someone to sell things?
I love Aaron Ramsey, and if he wasn't on horrendous wages,
400 grand on it.
Yeah, something stupid. I would love to take him back because I think he'd be really good for the dressing room, and for the odd game that he'd actually be fit enough to play, he'd be fine. But I don't think it's ever going to happen, sadly.
True. Avon says Hector won the Spanish Cup with Betis. He did, which is really good. Yeah. And there's a good story with that. One of the Betis captain.
That's his home team as well, isn't it, Betis? That is his club. Idea. I think that's where he's from. Yeah.
But the captain of Betis now is about, I don't know, I think he's about 37, something like that.
Oh, Joaquin, yeah.
And the last time Betis won the cup, he was a young man. He wasn't even playing football professionally. Yeah. And so he saw it as a kid wearing the shirt, and now he won it as a grown man about to retire. Yeah. So that's
Joaquin is for the older heads in chat, he's a Pro Evo legend, Joaquin. And to be fair, even on FIFA as well. If you didn't have a lot of money and you needed a quick winger, you'd always sign him. He was great.
Paul Mincy blog says Coquelin is attacking CDM. They had one good game against. Who was it?
Liverpool. It was Liverpool, wasn't it? He was really good for that bit, and then they 2-0 up, and then Emery went activates the plan and conceded 3 goals.
Paul's on a roll here. Gibbs. No, Ox. Sorry, Ox. Pablo Mari is done with us then, and then we have. There was one more. So Torreira, Clark, Balogun, Hine. No, I think that's it. There is no more.
Yeah. Okay.
Kolasinac gone. Aubameyang will be gone.
Yeah. I mean, he's gone. His contract's torn up, isn't it? So.
Yeah. He's on about 500 quid. But they got Trioma Adore, another brilliantly quick player from Wolves. They were doing the same deal with him, 10 grand a week. We'll sign you in the summer. Now they've gone, no, we're not having you. From what I read, because I know nobody in football. So everything I say, I either make it up. Yeah. How about players that are leaving? How sad are you going to be that the best looking bloke at the club, Alex, you beautiful bastard, Lacazette, is going to be leaving? A tear will roll down my cheek. He's one of my favourite players, best looking bloke at the club, best beard at the club since Chambers has gone.
Oh, sad Chambers wasn't best beard. I think Giroud probably had best.
Don't you bring that AC Milan shit bag up in this? Fuck him and fuck AC Milan.
Will I be sad to see Lacazette go? I I won't be sad to see him leave. I'm sad in the sense that we didn't get the player that we wanted and maybe bought him too late. If we bought him a few years earlier, then I think you would have seen the best of Lacazette. And I feel a bit sorry for him because like, we've spent loads of money on you 6 months later. Hey, we've just spent even more money on another striker. Don't worry about it, though. It's fine. So I do feel a bit sorry for him. I suspect that the chef at Arsenal will be happy to see him leave, though.
Why?
Well, he's always at the buffet, isn't he?
Is he a bit of a chunky monkey?
I think he's a little bit of a chunky monkey. Yeah. But
no, so some of the best of us, Johnny boy.
Yeah, that's true. I'm hiding it just down here. It's just off camera. No, it'll be sad for him going just because he's clearly a very good influence in the dressing room and the players do respect him and look up to him a lot. And look, he hasn't been great this season. Hasn't been scoring enough goals, but he did the rest of the job he was asked to do. So, yeah.
It will be sad. I bet he smells lovely. Mm-hmm. But he has a really expensive aftershave and you can just smell Lacazette's around. There, and you get a good whiff of him. Chris Jones says, Runner the gunner, Runnison. He's fucked off. That was a huge mistake. Luckily, it was only $1 million. Pepe, talking of mistakes. First of all, I want to see your reaction, the look on your face when I say, Pepe, you're one-on-one with that last defender.
Oh,
what was he? Well, I don't know what he was thinking because he obviously didn't think. Fucking hell.
Well, before that, I thought, El Neni, great tackle. And I was like, oh, the goalkeeper, come on, just bang it in. And I saw it go to Pepe and I went, oh, no, it's on his right foot. Okay, he's going to cut back on his left. And I saw the Leeds players and I thought, no, he's not going to cut back on his left. He's going to be sensible and just run him. And if he gets a better opportunity, he'll cut on his left. If not, he'll just square it to, like, I think Martinelli was running and a few other players. And he tried to do it. And I was like, ugh. It just, when he did it, I was annoyed. And then I was annoyed at myself for being annoyed because I expected it to happen. I should have known that was what
You're a fool to yourself.
Yeah. So I played myself. It's difficult. Arseblog and Gunnerblog were talking about this on Arseblog this week, and they were saying, like, in the moment, like, if you watch it back or you look at the picture of a still, it looks really bad that he hasn't, like, switched onto his left and scored or put someone through or something. But, like, the speed it was at and everything, and Dan James is probably going to keep up with him. I don't know. I kind of feel like if it was a different one of our forwards,
the sums up his career, doesn't it?
Yeah, they would have done something. The thing is, though, if that was like on another day, he would have taken like nutmeg Dan James, and you were like, "Oh shoot!" And then he'd stop the ball, wait for 3 Leeds defenders, beat all of them, wait till the goalkeeper got back in goal, and like rainbow flick it over his head or something because he can do that.
Look what Invincible blogs put. I used to watch Davina and say, "Nice lampshade, no bulb." Sadly, I don't think even Pepe has a bulb.
He's just not an Arteta player. He's not He's the kind of guy that, you know, Newcastle have got, what's his name, Sir Maximin. When they got, like, say, like another level up in the league to maybe challenging for European spots or something. Pepe is the sort of guy I could see being as one of 2 forwards, maybe for a Newcastle, and they have like a low block or something and just knock the ball forwards and let him run onto it and do some magic, or like do some magic, get up the pitch and then try and cross it for someone. I just don't think he's an Arteta player. And the other thing as well is that signing fee was fucking ridiculous. He was never worth that money. Fuck knows what was going on there. The fact that the fee was allegedly the exact amount of money that they needed to not go into administration or be docked penalty points or whatever. There was some serious backhanders going on in that fee.
And then they got an American lawyer in, who's an Arsenal fan, to come over. Maybe it's a lawyer, an accountant to come in after that. And then a short while after that, Raul was told to get the fuck out and don't ever come back.
Yeah.
He was at best a £25 million player.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. But talking of that money, you've seen how much the deal for Haaland is going to be. It's £70 million release clause. And then his agent gets 40 million on top of that, and his dad gets 30 million. 140 million. And then plus he'll probably get a 5-year deal at 500 grand a week.
Yeah.
And he gets injured first game because he is. You're not a Dortmund fan. That's good. You're a Leverkusen fan, are you?
Oh, you dirty bastard! Gladbach.
Oh, Gladbach. I know it's one of the teams that play in black. He's injury prone. I mean, you watch a bit of Bundesliga, and a number of times and plus Dortmund aren't that great with him. If when they play to his strengths of give him the ball, if he's having an off day, they lose regularly. They'll lose with him in the side. Then the next week he'll go and score 4 and be magnificent. He's not the finish, but he's not the Harry Kane. You can't rely on him for 30 odd goals a season. Not that you can with Harry Kane anymore, but you could have done if they'd have bought him this time last year.
I think the difference is that Haaland they'll just say to him, right, press from the front. If we win the ball back, we'll just give it to you and you bang it in. You've only got one man to beat. And he can do that all day long in this league. I know he's going to get roughed up a bit and whatever, but they're so creative. Like, the idea of watching Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland in the same team.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, like that's like old Real Madrid Galacticos shit. That is absolutely obscene. I mean, I think they'll walk the league again next year. Probably, I think they'll walk it easier next year than they will this. And maybe he's the player that pushes them that one step further in the Champions League. Who knows? But yeah, I think he's an exceptional player, and it sucks that you're going to City and they've got so much money. But I'm excited to watch him in the Premier League. And all you got to do, Danny, is think, all right, we've got 2 games where we might have to suffer him and De Bruyne are playing together. That's going to be horrible. But so have they. That lot down the road. And can you imagine Antonio Conte trying to work out and explain to his players how to stop Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland? It's going to be hilarious. So, yeah.
It will be funny. Leicester have just scored, so they're 1-0 up, and they'll move from 14th up to 10th. It's not a bad jump, is it? Terrible season for Leicester.
Yeah.
And they need. I know I don't really care about Leicester, but they Vardy's done. Yeah. I think the manager could well be done, but they've just shown done what Arsenal have done, getting all the way to nearly a European final, and then their league form has gone to shit.
Yeah,
don't have enough players. Are we all done then? Because we've done nearly an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think we are all done. We've answered quite a lot of questions from the chat. I know we didn't talk loads about tomorrow, but I'll be honest, I try to not think about it as much as possible. Because when I wake up tomorrow, I'm probably going to have quite an upset stomach and be constantly running to the toilet until kick-off. And if I'm not blind drunk before half-time, I'll be quite impressed because I don't genuinely ever drink. I had a drink during the Chelsea game this season because I was so nervous and then joyous. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And yeah, I think tomorrow's game is just a completely different atmosphere. And I'm just going to have to drink myself stupid to get through it because I'm not going to be able to handle it at all. So I'm going to be a complete mess on Friday morning. I'm sure lots of other Arsenal fans and Spurs fans will be as well. But hopefully it's for a win and I'll have a very happy hangover.
And I don't know who's going to be on the show tomorrow because trying to get any kind of commitment out of anybody. Most of you just sit on your asses all night long watching Netflix and dodgy 70s sci-fi or stuff like that. And so trying to get a commitment, but there might be a podcast on Friday, an emergency podcast, the opposite to Chris's emergency podcast. So there might be certain circumstances may well happen tomorrow night, which mean we have to do an emergency podcast. I think what we're going to do in that emergency podcast is watch the first emergency podcast and then see how well we've done since then. So I've got no idea who's on tomorrow. I will be on tomorrow. Whether we win, lose or draw, I will be on. I don't know who else. And then we've got a couple of people. I think James and Daniel said they might be available for Friday if we do one. We've done a preview show. Did that yesterday with Alex from Twitch. That's available on our YouTubings. If you could, there's a lot of you who are going to watch this. If you just go down into the comments and just put potato, your favourite fruit, anything, any kind of comment helps. And then you get loads of comments down there and YouTube go, hey, analytics, look at this, my love. There's people watching this. Let's tell everyone else about it. We'll send it to everyone's recommendations. And then we get big and famous and then we forget who all of you are.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of websites on mine. It keeps coming up. It says, hot MILFs in your area. I'm not really sure what it means, but if you put that in the comments, apparently that works as well. So yeah. But yeah, that's it from us for tonight. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically for tomorrow. Don't get too stressed out. Go and have a massage, sit in a hot tub if you got one, have a shower, go for a walk, do what you need to do. Don't assault anyone until after the game. If it's necessary, then fair enough, I understand. But yeah, whatever you need to do. If you smoke, have a cigarette. If you like a drink, have that. If you're not a drinker, have a cup of tea. Just try and be calm and relax and enjoy the game, and just enjoy it and savor the moment. Because hopefully it's going to be a good one to savor. But yeah, it just leaves me to say thank you, Danny, for pushing all the buttons and having all the stats and stuff.
Thank you, John, for just being nice enough to turn up. Otherwise, it'd been me talking bollocks for an hour and a half.
Instead, it was me and you talking bollocks for an hour and a half. And it's good night for me as well. Yeah, like Danny said, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, or whatever the equivalent is on whatever platform you're listening on. If you can leave a comment, that'd be great. If you leave a review, that'd be even better. And yeah, Danny will be on tomorrow with who knows? We've got no idea. Whoever's sober. And hopefully we'll be talking about a win, and we'll have a very happy chat box. So yeah, we've been ABW, and see you soon. Danny, turn this shit off.